Hey there, this is Chris Parsons. I'm with my co-host JP Fluellen, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Success Agent Podcast, where we talk about strategies for agents to sell more homes while spending less time and less money to do so with automation. Today, we're going to be talking about running your business while going on vacation. What strategies and techniques that are effective so that you can manage your time and you find that perfect balance between being on vacation while still growing your business and making sure everything's running smoothly. Do you have any trips coming up, JP?
Oh yeah, I got a trip coming up on Saturday, so this is really super relevant right now.
Okay, where are you going?
I am going to Vegas for a conference.
Okay, what conference?
The Zillow
Oh,
Premier,
nice.
what the heck is it called? Forum, I think is what it's called.
Okay,
I don't know, I'm just going there.
nice. Um, so, how are you planning ahead when you go on this? So, how long are you going for? I mean, obviously, duration is going to play a big role in going on vacation. Um, how are you going to plan ahead for this kind of thing? Obviously, things always go wrong when we're out of the office. It's inevitable. So how are you going to plan for that?
So, I have an assistant, so I kind of get her set up. This is what we got going on. This is what's coming up. This is what inspections I've got going on. These are the people that are going to show up at this house on this day. And so I just kind of give her the rundown of all the different, go through all of the property list of all the addresses that are in the pipeline right now, and some of the potential things that could be coming up. Because I know I'm going to have to negotiate some repairs and stuff like that here in the next few days. And then
Right.
also, for the most part, I mean, she can handle, most of the day-to-day stuff. If I got it's inevitable someone's going to show up at the office, just pop in and, ask me, whatever question they need or something. And then, making sure all of our paperwork's in line, and, because I've got two closings like the day I get back.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. So I've got to make sure all my paperwork's in line for that, and just kind of making sure that, and then also I have all of my emails are filtered back to her. So, and she also has access to my email too. So it makes it easy in terms of like, you know, uh, keeping things moving smoothly, because I'm going to be in classes and stuff like that. And so that she can stay on top of all of the different nuances with all the different, people wanting my attention while I'm gone. So,
Right. Well, let's just say, so how long have you had your assistant now?
I've had an assistant now for 2.5 years.
Okay. And you've been in real estate for how long? 7?
Almost 9.
9? So let's just say when, obviously you probably went on vacation for the other 6.5 years without a support staff, so without your assistant. How did you really handle that?
Um, Sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that. I'm just like zoning out over here.
That's cool. So, okay, so you've been in real estate for like 9 years.
Uh-huh.
2.5 of those you've had an assistant. So you've already had a growing business and you already have things running, you have your processes. But for the first 6.5 years, let's just forget the first 2 or 3 because you're growing your business. How did you handle leaving the state or going on vacation without your support staff? How did you create that balance? Because obviously things are going to go wrong. You need someone there. You can't just rely on technology. So how did you handle that kind of stuff?
So before an assistant, I literally had my phone and my laptop with me wherever I went. So when I left on vacation, so I went to Jamaica and I was trying to negotiate a deal down there, and the internet service down there was terrible. Like it was, and we were in like a sticky situation. We had to write an offer, try to countered back a couple times, and I'm like doing this while I'm about to get on like a tour on the ocean, and with a bunch of people, and I'm literally like on my phone trying to get Wi-Fi service just to get enough to get a text message out, via Wi-Fi, just to negotiate this deal. And so, I mean, like, yeah. And so it was like, a lot of agents, you know, they'll set aside like 4 hours in the morning
Yeah.
and they'll do their real estate stuff in the mornings, and then they're pretty much disconnected for the rest of the day.
Right. I mean, does that work though? Because I mean, so like you have new leads coming in. Obviously, we want to automate that engagement as much as possible. But then it comes to a point where someone has to step in. And if you're, I mean, 4 hours, you know, that's a good portion of the day, especially if you're on vacation. But obviously, you don't want to miss that opportunity. So I know like you can do. So if you work in an office and you have like a team, you can kind of ask one of your teammates, hey, you know, can you kind of help handle the business for me while I'm gone? Now, obviously, that takes some kind of trust because you're going to be handing off your business, a lot of money potentially to someone. How do you create those kinds of relationships?
So like when I started where I'm at, I had a guy that, you know, we've kind of been like real estate buddies since day one. And so we just kind of did it on the honor system. Like when you're gone, you watch my business. When I'm gone, or you know, vice versa. So that way there was a balance between who was watching whose business. And we didn't really ask for compensation. You know, I'm like, all right, just buy me lunch at some point when you get back. But we didn't really look at it from, you know, a compensation, you know, commission standpoint, just because we were just respected each other's business that much, you know. Whereas if you're brand new and you know, and you're doing deals and you need someone to watch your business, you may want to say, hey, I'll pay you know, $500 when I get back, you know, because I'm going to be gone for a week or whatever or two, and I've got a closing on Tuesday. If you could just be there for the closing, and you know, they want to do a final walkthrough. So I mean, there's time involved, you know, and
Sure.
when you're looking at it from, you know, time over money perspective, you know, there's definitely some value there for someone to watch your business while you're gone. But if you don't know anybody that would do that for you, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and some people are like, yeah, I'll pay you. And they're like, nah, dude, just, you know, hit me up next time because I know I'm going to need you at some point when I'm going to leave, you know.
Right.
So it's just kind of, you know, you really shouldn't be leaving if you're new in the business anyways. I mean, you should be like cemented to your business for a year at least, you know, without finding reasons to not come to work, you know. So
Right. What's a story that you have, like the worst thing that has ever happened while on vacation?
the worst. Um, you know, I don't have those kinds of horror stories usually.
No?
There's other people in my office that have, like, there's a gal in my office who had was going to meet had some clients coming in, and they, you know, it was like a three house deal. It was like a listing, and then the people that were listing that house were buying a house,
Uh,
and the house that those people were buying, they were selling their house.
nice.
So she had to leave. She handed it off to someone else. Well, he ended up missing the appointment to go show the house.
Oh
So
no.
basically, she was like, well, if that's how you're going to treat your business, then I'm not going to list my house. And so then she ended up going somewhere else to list their house with a different company. And so
Yikes.
that's how like these dominoes can turn into like, you know, when you're trusting someone to watch your business, make sure you watch their business. Like it's, you know, so that's why I'd rather just have an assistant than I can just be like, hey, you know.
Well, right. I mean, that little mistake, I guess we can call it, cost her quite a bit of cash, whereas, you know, you just hire an assistant. Grand scheme, that's going to save you a lot of money. It's also going to make you more productive, but even when you're not on vacation, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like if you just, you know, if you're showing houses and you need paperwork to turn in, I mean, there's just all these different pieces that, you know, and then of course you have to organize all of this. So it's not just having, you know, the pawns in place. You have to understand how to play the game too.
Right.
So, you know, it's like if you know, if you're playing chess and you've got all the right pieces to get the system moving forward, but if you don't know how to win, and they just sit there, you know, and you're like, no, it's pawn to whatever, number it is, and then,
Right.
and if you don't know what number, then they just stand there going, dirt, 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 I don't know what I'm doing. So,
So like, what are like some of the biggest fires that I guess, because like fires are inevitable with any business, which ones can you like plan for? Obviously, there are some that you're never going to be able to plan for, like the that guy who missed the appointment. But what are some fires that you can plan for just to help kind of give you a safety net?
fires you can definitely plan for, especially in a real estate transaction, is inspections.
Yeah.
I mean, or if you have vacant homes listed, make sure that you have the heat turned on, that all the doors are locked, that there's not going to be squatters in there, just making sure that, kind of thinking, okay, when I'm gone,
Yeah.
I know this is going to happen.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be gone next week, and I know I'm going to get a call from a renter because I got rental property too.
Mm.
So, it's like, okay, who's going to receive that call?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so,
I was just gonna say from like a team standpoint too, just kind of thinking about, where I'm coming from. If you have your team in one system, that kind of helps offset that too, because you have one single point to like log into, um, and that helps you manage everything and make sure things are happening.
yeah, if you could have like have all your stuff housed in a portal, like with renters, if they have issues with rent, they can go into this portal and log in and then submit their request.
Right.
So you're not getting bombarded with, all of these frivolous phone calls, because 90% of the time, like, you can, if you just think about it for an extra 15 seconds, you can get your answer, rather than being like, I've got a question for you, and then if you just be like, I'll call them back in an hour, they're like, never mind, I figured it out, and so
Yeah.
figure it out, stop calling me. Like, dude, like, most of the stuff is like common sense. Well, what we would call common sense, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Anything else? So like I know people use like you can do email forwarding, you could do like vacation messages. And one of the things that we were talking about before this was like giving points of contact so they at least have somewhere to go if you can't answer right then and there. Who do you give as a contact? Is that like, do you give your broker? Obviously, you probably give your assistant, but let's say you don't have the assistant. What kind of options do you give for contacts so they can help solve their own issues?
I always just put in the other agent that you're using to help you out with the business.
Okay.
Really, because, as much as we think a lot of this stuff is like, you probably could wait a day or two, or you could probably wait until they get back.
Right.
But they need it now. They just absolutely have to have it now, and that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything else you want to add? I know.
No, man, I think that kind of covers it. I mean, it's just really just put yourself in the shoes of the person that's taking your place while you're gone, and think about, okay, how would I need to assist them if I'm not if I'm not available?
Right.
Because one of my long-term goals is to be gone for a month.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go overseas for a month and just be gone, and I have like shut my business off for a month.
Yeah.
And then see how much, stuff has hit the fan by the time I get back.
Yeah, but the good news is you can, once you see all that stuff, you can now take a step back and be like, all right, if I can fix 1, 2, and 3, I now have a more automated business that even when I am here, it's already being taken care of.
Study, man. It's a good case study.
Well, then what are you doing here? You should be on vacation right now.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, JP, how can these people reach you? I know you do some coaching. We kind of talk about that,
Yeah, so you can just reach out to me on Facebook, jpsrealestatepage.com, or the Titan Real Estate Team page. You can also just search JP Fluellen on Google. You can find me everywhere. You can send me an email, and it's james.fluellen@gmail.com. Or you can just text me 307-772-1184. And we can set up a 30-minute free coaching call. And if it's something that works for you guys, we can talk through that and see if it's a good fit. And if not, cool, that's cool too. But I love talking to new agents and teaching them how to grow their businesses. So
yeah, and you got a book coming out too, right?
I do have a book coming out. It's called The Real Estate Brain, and it's a very comprehensive tool to teach people on how to buy a house. You know, whether you've done it the first time or you've done it the 15th time, there's always things that you forget that you did the last time you bought a house. And this is really just kind of how did the realtor think about this, you know, process. You know, how, you know, when you're going online looking at houses and you're interested in something you want to look at, and then you know, and your realtor, or if your real estate agent goes out of town in the middle of a negotiation on buying a house, what is the protocol there? You know, all sorts of crazy stuff, dude. Because I mean, it's just crazy. You know, inspections and trying to find the right one. You got two spouses that can't agree on anything, on any house or any type, or they want to be in town, they want to be out of town. You know, all this stuff. So it's just a fun journey on, hey, I think I want to buy a house. I'm sick of being a renter. Okay, well, where are you in that process? Do you live at home with your grandma in the basement, or, you know, or have you been renting a house at $1,600 a month for the last 20 years and you're tired of paying your landlord and making them rich? So it's just a really fun ride on, you know, start to finish. And it's really a journey about Jack and Jill, whether they want to live on the hill or they don't, you know?
Yeah, cool. And guys, if you want to reach me, so my website's finally up, agentsautomated.com. There's a free blueprint on there. It really just gives you an overview of the systems I help build for agents and really automate their business and help them make more money while spending less time to do so. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Of course, you can reach out via Facebook. My email address is chris@insync.com, INSYNQK. And we will see you next week for another episode of the Success Agent Podcast.
All right, man.
See you later.